All right, today we're doing a deep dive into Al-Qaeda. And the name itself brings up so much,
It,
obviously.
it really does. Synonymous with global terror for decades now.
Right, but our goal isn't just rehashing that. We want to trace it back to, well, a pretty unexpected place, the Cold War.
That's the crucial point. This organization, it didn't just appear out of nowhere in the 90s.
Oh.
Its roots go way back deep into the messy geopolitics of the 70s and 80s.
And here's the hook, the really surprising part. Al-Qaeda was essentially forged in the fires of the Cold War, specifically the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in '79.
Mm-hmm.
We need to unpack how a fight against the Soviets somehow morphed into this global anti-U.S. terror network. It seems like a total contradiction.
It does, but history is full of those. The late 20th century, remember, was all about these proxy wars. U.S. versus USSR playing out across the globe.
And the Middle East was ground zero, wasn't it? Oil, instability.
Absolutely central. But while the superpowers were focused on that chess game, something else was brewing ideologically.
Ah, you mean figures like Sayyid Qutb.
Exactly. Radical thinkers pushing this vision of, well, violent opposition. It's not just to local secular regimes, but fundamentally against Western influence, the quote-unquote infidel powers.
So you had this potent ideology simmering, and then bang, December 1979, the Soviets invade Afghanistan.
And it was like throwing gasoline on a fire. It became the cause. Thousands of foreign Muslim fighters, the Mujahideen, poured in. They saw it as a religious duty, a global jihad.
Okay, but connect the dots for us. How did U.S. and Saudi money intended purely to hurt the Soviets end up building Al-Qaeda? Because that's the core paradox here.
It's quite a chain reaction. The CIA, Saudi intelligence, they funneled billions, right? But crucially, they routed it mostly through Pakistan's ISI.
Pakistan's intelligence service.
Yes. And this wasn't just about buying stingers. This money built up a whole independent infrastructure. Logistics networks, training camps, supply lines, completely outside direct state control. A global pipeline, basically.
Wow. So this massive new machine needed someone to run it.
Precisely. And that brings us to the key founders. Abdullah Azzam, often called the father of global jihad, a really charismatic scholar.
And the other name everyone knows, Osama bin Laden.
Right. Bin Laden brought the money, the Saudi connections, and, critically, this huge organizational drive.
So together, they create what?
In 1984, they set up Maktab al-Qidamah, MK, the service office. Think of it like a global recruitment agency and clearinghouse.
Not a fighting force itself.
No, not initially. It was the administrative hub, managing the flow of fighters, cash, weapons into Afghanistan. The central database, if you will.
Okay, but then things changed. The Soviets start pulling out around '88.
And that's where the critical split happens. Azzam was still focused largely on defending Muslim lands, maybe regionally. But bin Laden, his vision was becoming much more radical, much more global.
And targeting.
Targeting the U.S. He increasingly saw America as the main enemy, the root cause of problems in the Muslim world.
So is that when Al-Qaeda formally emerges as the break from Azzam?
That's exactly it. August 1988, bin Laden forms Al-Qaeda. It literally means the base, sometimes interpreted as the database too, linking back to MK's function.
The base, intended as what, a permanent network?
Yes, a permanent cadre of these battle-hardened veterans from Afghanistan, ready for future jihads anywhere in the world.
Okay, so the shift from regional anti-Soviet fight to global anti-U.S. war, that really crystallizes with the Gulf War, right? 1990.
Absolutely the turning point. Bin Laden had returned to Saudi Arabia, but then Saddam Hussein invades Kuwait.
And the Saudi government invites U.S. troops in.
Yes. Hundreds of thousands of American soldiers on the sacred soil of Saudi Arabia, home to Mecca and Medina. For bin Laden, this was the ultimate betrayal, an occupation.
Unforgivable in his view.
Totally. That cemented the U.S. as the primary enemy. He couldn't stay. He fled Saudi Arabia in 91.
And set up shop where?
First in Sudan, from 91 to 96. He used that time to really consolidate his network, build training camps, plan. Then when the Taliban took over Afghanistan, he moved back there in 96.
Finding a safe haven again.
A crucial one. And it's from Afghanistan in 1996 that he issues his famous fatwa.
The declaration of war.
Openly declaring war on the Americans for occupying the land of the two holy mosques. It laid out the justification for attacking U.S. interests everywhere.
And the attacks weren't long in coming.
No. The world saw the horrific proof in August 1998, the coordinated U.S. embassy bombings in Kenya and Tanzania.
Nairobi and Dar es Salaam killed over 200 people.
224 people. It showed al-Qaeda wasn't just rhetoric anymore. It had a global reach, lethal capability, sophisticated planning, and then, of course, the USS Cole bombing in 2000 followed.
It really is staggering when you lay it out like that, how an instrument created indirectly by Cold War policy to fight one enemy.
Became the enemy targeting its own sort of original sponsor. It's a textbook case of blowback, really. Yeah. Unintended consequences on a massive scale.
So looking back at this origin story, it really changes how you think about the threat.
It does. And it leaves us with a pretty provocative thought, especially for you listening. Given these deep roots, this transition from a base to a decentralized global franchise, is the real danger of al-Qaeda today still about specific spectacular attacks?
Or is it something else?
Or is it the enduring power of the model it created, this idea as a decentralized, ideologically driven network, the base, that can potentially spring up almost anywhere? Something to think about?